Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report. It's Mitchell Renz here from Chat Sports. And coming up on our live Overreaction Monday show, we're going to be talking about some Raiders on the hot seat after a 38-10 loss to the Buffalo Bills. I mean, that game yesterday was a tough one, right? And I woke up this morning still upset. You go to bed last night, you're upset. It's that meme. Your girlfriend thinks that you're thinking about somebody else, but I'm just thinking about the fact that the Raiders got blown out 38-10. I'm going to try to take a deep breath. We're going to focus on the following game because there's nothing that you can use from that Raiders Week 2 performance to learn off anything, right? You just got to take that entire game and you might as well just throw it away in the garbage. But we do have some Raiders that are on the hot seat. We're going to talk about that. Then I got some burning questions entering Week 3 going up against the Pittsburgh Steelers. If you guys still need to vent, you need to talk, please use this platform to have that ability to do it. Obviously, if you say some radical, outlandish shit, it's not going to go up on screen. But if you send in a super chat or use hashtag Raiders, we can get it up on screen. And then at the very, very end of today's show, I don't know about y'all, I need a duck race. So we're going to do a duck race. If you want to get entered in for a chance to get that, $5 super chat, and the winner's going to get a real one for life Raiders Report shirt. My question to you is this. Should the Raiders cut Chandler Jones? Give me a yes or give me a no. We're going to give some shout-outs here down in the comments. I don't know if you all been following along with this whole Chandler Jones situation over the past 24, 48 hours, but Jones was throwing out some outlandish remarks, talking about a goddaughter getting molested, and when you even throw out that allegation, you can't even believe that somebody would put that out there. And then literally just now as I am getting ready to go live, which is why we were about a minute too late, now Chandler Jones is claiming on social media that his account was hacked. You know, I mean, this Chandler Jones thing is just, it's gone out of control. I woke up this morning, and I've been thinking this for a long time. You absolutely, positively have to cut Chandler Jones, right? If the Raiders are going to sit up there now and say, well, maybe we didn't draft Jalen Carter because some of the off-the-field issues, I mean, this is getting to a point where you're sitting there like, well, how much longer are you going to let this cancer in your locker room? Because that's what Chandler Jones is now. Does he need medical help? Yes, but he's the only person that's going to be able to go out and get that. The Raiders need to cut Chandler Jones right now, and they need to get conduct detrimental to the team because everything that he's put out on social media, it validates the Raiders could cut him, and that wouldn't cost anything because of conduct detrimental to the team. I'll give some shout-outs here in a sec. I see a super chat coming in from Steel Cage Savage. No one wants to play for Josh McDaniels. He lost the team. I mean, I don't know if you put that in quotes or what you did, but we always put it in the quotes. I'm sorry. The problem with this is it's not true. I mean, I still talk to a bunch of Raiders players. They like Josh McDaniels. I know that yesterday was a tough game, but sometimes that shit happens in the NFL. You took down a Denver Broncos team. You got whooped against Buffalo, and I think what you saw yesterday was there's just levels to the NFL, right? There's levels to life, there's levels to the shit, and there's levels to the NFL. The Buffalo Bills are a superior team. We thought the Raiders might be in the middle of the pack. Turns out they're a lot further in the pack than what you thought. But then also matchups matter in the NFL. The Raiders couldn't get after Josh Allen. Josh Allen picked them apart. But I can tell you right now that this statement is just a lie. I get you're frustrated. I'm frustrated too, but it's not true. So again, let's go back to should the Raiders cut Chandler Jones? Got 520 people watching the show right now, yet only 74 likes. If you could do me a favor, if you could click that like button, believe it or not, it does help out Jeremy Chugs and I a lot. Queen Sarah Otto says yes. I'm seeing nothing but yeses. Crosskick says no. Zalesbo, yes. Jamal Calhoun's going to go yes. Raider Nation, hell yes. Eric, yes. I mean, nothing but yeses. You know why? Because the only thing the Raiders should do today, and I mean this, the only thing that this Raiders organization should do today is cut Chandler Jones. You got to get him off your roster. Can't do it anymore. All right, let's go to the next question here on the Raiders Report, and I'll give you my answer a little bit later on in the show. It's also the poll. If you haven't already gotten those votes in, we already have close to 500 votes. Who are you blaming? 65% for Josh McDaniels, 7% for Jimmy Garoppolo, and then 28% for Patrick Graham / the Raiders defense. So who's more to blame for what you saw yesterday against the Bills? If it's Garoppolo, give me a G. McDaniels, type M. Raiders defense, I want you to type D. This is the one where I was really curious to see how it ended up unfolding. Jimmy G ain't no G from Raider Reese. What up, Reese? I appreciate you talking to me earlier when the Raiders were live, and all you got to hear was Josh McDaniels say about 100 times. We Out Here Entertainment, M&D, BA, Marcus going to go McDaniels. Martin says McDaniels. Defense from Brian Hill. Garoppolo from Reese. Luis, the offensive line. That ain't happening. King, M. Queen Sarah Otto, M. Jamal is going to go with the defense. Enzo from the block, M and D, all getting those votes. Let's go to Chili Man. What up, Chili Man? Who's available that's any good to replace Chandler Jones? It's a great question. If you're curious, I have already made a video 2 weeks ago about some potential free agents that the Raiders could sign. And to me, I'm looking at the defensive ends, right? I'm going to be looking at a Carlos Dunlap, a Melvin Ingram, a Kyle Van Noy. Maybe you could add a Jason Pierre-Paul, a Robert Quinn, or just some of the top defensive ends out there. But then in that video, you can go on YouTube right now, look up Chandler Jones replacements. You need to also search Raiders Report. You can. Then there's even players that they could trade for, ideas, and what it would take to potentially get somebody. I can promise you this right now. I will do a segment this upcoming week on defensive tackle / defensive lineman. The Raiders need to go out and try to potentially sign, because if I got to deal with what I saw yesterday, I ain't doing it. That Raiders defensive line is dog shit right now. Let's go to Rebel Montana. Also, Rebel, you in, and once Chugs, we actually got shout out to Coop. Let's get those COOPs in the chat. Jeremy had to go film something really, really quick. He'll be back. But every person that sent in a 5, you'll have an opportunity to get a Real One for Life t-shirt here. Rebel, it's good to be back. Bills were ready to play. Raiders did not. What is the Raiders' record when there are teams on the East Coast? It's a great question. I don't have the answer for you on that one. However, I was hopeful. I think a lot of Raider fans were hopeful because Josh McDaniels and company did the right thing this upcoming week. They also had an extra day compared to Buffalo, but they stayed in West Virginia. They stayed in West Virginia. They stayed on the East Coast, and they did that way to better acclimate themselves for an early 1 o'clock kickoff Eastern time compared to having that extra jet lag, and jet lag is a very, very real thing. The Raiders tried to do everything right. The problem was they did everything right, I'll say, Saturday to like Wednesday. Sunday was the most important day, and, well, they fell a little bit short. But I don't know what the record is on the East Coast, but I can guarantee you this, it ain't good. Let's go to Josh Melton. You in. Sorry, came in late. Giggity. Jones says his account was hacked. I know what Chandler Jones says, and I think he hacked it himself. I think that's the problem with Chandler, is just living in such a he's just living in another realm right now. Like, I've had family members, I've had friends that have dealt with some serious things, let's just say that. I don't know what Chandler's dealing with right now in his life. People have tried to reach out and help him. The Raiders have tried to reach out and help him. But you can't help yourself unless you actually don't realize that you have a problem. And I don't think that he does realize that he has a problem. But then there's at times where I'm like, I think he does know, right? For you to change your picture on social media to Venom, like, clearly he knows something's going on, or unless he's just really going in with a bit. But the problem with Chandler Jones right now is, and I don't care if he's saying his account got hacked, for you to say these two things where somebody's getting molested and you to lie about that, that's a cuttable offense. If it was true, and then he tweeted out a few hours earlier that he's willing to not tell anybody if he goes out there and the Raiders allow him to play. So either you're going to lie about your goddaughter getting molested to get attention, or you're not going to go to the authorities and tell that your goddaughter is getting molested as long as the Raiders let you play. If you would have told me I would even say those things out loud on a Raiders Report show, I'd say that my career has taken a wrong turn. Like, we're going down a wrong path. It's sad. It's just despicable. And as soon as I saw it, and now that he's claiming that his account got hacked, if you believe that Chandler Jones' account got hacked, I got some beautiful beachfront property in Montana that I guarantee you guys would love. I mean, you're going to love it, man. You're going to absolutely love it. And if you send in right now a $10,000 Venmo, I'll get every single person a plot of land that's beachfront in Montana. I mean, it's just disgusting. It's disgusting to me, man. Something, though, that I am really looking forward to this weekend. And, I mean, this past game, man, on Sunday was just a whirlwind. It was a headache. But you know what I love? I love being able to hang out with the nation. And I'm really trying to do my best today. I was talking to my dad on my walk into work. He's like, hey, Mitch. He's like, hey, man, just try to keep it glass half full. And the only thing that is keeping Chugs and I positive is the fact that we're going to be able to hang out with a bunch of Raider fans this weekend out in Las Vegas for the home opener. And the glass half full way to look at what happened yesterday is simple. If you would have told me going into week 3 that the Raiders were 1-1 and tied for first place in the AFC West, I'd say, why are we upset? And it was because of how bad that game was yesterday. But, man, if you want to party with Jeremy Chugs and I, RSVP'd all the events at blackoutdivision.com. I'm going to say it again. We can also put the link, if you can, Chugs, down in the comments section real quick here, blackoutdivision.com. I don't have it in the script, so that's on me. But if you want to join Jeremy and I and party it up, this is where we're going to be Friday night. This is where, if you're a Raider fan and you want to have a credible, and I mean incredible party experience, this is where you need to be. Tropicana, blackoutdivision.com. It's got all of the information on it. I'll be there. Jeremy's going to be there. Graphic will be there. Raider Cody. I mean, I've already talked to like 400 or 500 people, and they said that this is where they'll be. I can guarantee you it's going to be the biggest party in Las Vegas the night before kickoff, and I hope to see all of y'all there. If you need an extra code to be able to get to the game, I know the guys are doing something really fun on Sunday. They're going to be taking a bus to the stadium. You can use code Raiders Report for $10 off the party bus tickets, which you can also then find, again, at blackoutdivision.com. If you want to know more things that we're going to be doing, we're going to be interviewing Marquette King at the Blue Wire Studio at Wynn Las Vegas. That's from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. if you want to link up with Graf, me, Raider Cody, some of the other Raiders content creators. Bottom line is this, man. I can't wait to hang out with the nation. I need this weekend. Raider Nation needs this weekend. And we're going to have a hell of a time. That I can promise you. Also, I also have some really good news. Guess what? Jeremy's back. Everybody show some love to Jeremy Chugs. What up, Mr. Chugs? All right, so we already asked this one more to blame. I also said that every person that sends in a 5, they have a chance to get a Real One for Life shirt. So all the $5 super chats that you see, if you could add them to the duck race.
You know what, Mitch?
You already did it.
Thing is, I already did it.
Oh, man.
I already done did it.
He already done did it. All right, so the last super chat.
Jimmy crack corn, and I don't care.
The last super chat that we got was from Michael Tolbert. So let's go to Michael Tolbert here. Again, y'all, we got 700 people here in the building. If you could, take a second, hit that like button. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so. Share this video. The more and more Raider fans we get here, the more and more crazy stuff that we have the ability to do. Let's go to Michael. Even when we win, McDaniels still sucks. Again, like, I think the NFL is a league where you can change your mind from week to week to week to week, right? Like, there's going to be weeks where teams play bad. There's going to be weeks where teams play well. We just got to call a spade a spade. Yesterday, the Raiders got beat in every single aspect of the game, and the Bills are just way more superior, especially if you can't get to Josh Allen. Teams that get after Josh Allen when they bring 4, they're going to have success against the Bills. The Raiders are the worst team to go up against Buffalo simply because they can't generate pressure. And then you got Patrick Graham, who refuses to try to generate pressure. And then you got Josh McDaniels, who comes up with his idea of what he needs to do to win that game. And when it doesn't go well, right, like, he sticks with it. Drives me nuts. Let's go to Ludwig. I think we're going to be okay. I don't know what everyone is freaking out about. 11-6, watch. I think people are freaking out because you have 27 points combined in 2 games. And when you go back and you watch the tape, this Raiders offensive line pass blocking is doing a good job. Their run blocking actually isn't all that bad, and that's crazy to say because of how bad the Raiders have been. Now, I don't think that they're probably, in my opinion, like 16, 17 best run blocking line. But watch the tape, man. Like, the amount of players up on that box, giggity, it's insane. You're not going to win in the NFL when it's 8,
awful.
9 players up near the line of scrimmage and they're daring Jimmy Garoppolo to throw it deep. What's even more laughable is today Josh McDaniels was asked about the stacked boxes or was asked about, like, the Raiders' inability to throw it deep, and he simply said, like, I don't think that we have a problem throwing the ball deep. That's another problem, right? If Josh McDaniels doesn't think that there's a problem there, he needs to look himself in the mirror a little bit.
That's the first part about, overcoming something. You have to realize that you have a problem. Like, do you think one time in practice, Josh McDaniels, converted a 3rd and 16 with an Amir Abdullah screen and was like, that's it? That's the answer. 3rd and long, Amir Abdullah screen. 2nd and long, wide receiver sweep. It's a given.
Yeah.
It's a given these things happen.
It's brutal, man.
Next up, thank you for your super chat, Ludwig. Next up, Chewy. It's still early in the season, so Raider Nation, don't trip. And plus an update on Adams. Raiders! And I agree with you, Mitch. Cut Chandler Jones.
Yeah, so the good news on Davante Adams is I know that he took a wicked hit at the end of that game.
From Boston?
Yeah. Honestly,
wicked smart.
Wicked smart. No, I was so frustrated with that hit because Garoppolo kind of left Davante out there to dry a little bit. Plus, why the hell is Davante Adams still in the game at that point?
Well, and
he did leave the game early.
It was a play that meant nothing.
Yeah, it meant nothing. And if Davante gets hurt, you might as well pack it up. I mean, that offense is not going to be able to move the football without Davante Adams. But the good news is he's okay. Today it was confirmed by Josh McDaniels that Davante Adams is okay, which to me indicates that he's going to easily pass the concussion protocol. He's going to be playing this upcoming game on Sunday Night Football against the Steelers. Speaking of the Steelers, some news just came out about their second best wide receiver, Deontay Johnson. They just placed him on IR. He's going to be out at least 4 games, so the Raiders won't have to worry about him. Glass half full thing. But, yeah, I know.
Good thing he's injured.
Yeah, well, bad for the Steelers. Hate to see people injured, but the Raiders need to win this upcoming week, and it's going to help out this defense. On top of that, though, he also said Jakobi Meyers was trending in the right direction.
That's great.
Very good. I think you're going to get both of those.
I think they missed Jakobi a lot.
They missed him drastically.
Rusissimo,
what's up,
poor
my brother?
coaching.
Poor coaching. The coaching yesterday was awful. And, people were all over me when I said that I do think that the Raiders are one of the worst coach teams in the NFL, and I agree with that. And what I told my dad, the analogy this morning that I gave him was, to me, Josh McDaniels and Patrick Graham are kind of like a match made in heaven where they come up with a plan, and they stick to that plan even if it doesn't work. And the analogy I gave my dad was Josh McDaniels and Patrick Graham said, this week, we're making a pizza. We're making a pizza. However, they don't have the right ingredients to make a pizza. Their defensive line stinks. Their pepperoni's no good. There's just certain things that they don't have the right ingredients to make a pizza. And you know what they're doing? They're like, you know what? F it. Yeah. We're still going to cook that pizza.
Luke Atkinson, Chandler situation starting to remind me a little bit of the AB situation.
Oh, dude, Luke, this situation is insane, and I could not agree with you more.
This situation.
Oh!
Actually, I need to go get mine. I actually forgot about this.
You got to go get yours?
Yeah.
All right.
Brandon Jasper Bang!
For those of you that do not know, Brandon, newest member of Mount Raider More, he asked us yesterday if we would be willing to wear the Def Jasper jersey. Chugs is going to go get his tuna jersey. But today is Brandon's dad's birthday. Unfortunately, he passed away last season. And I know a lot of y'all always hear us say tuna clock. And, what does it mean exactly? Well, Brandon's father's nickname was Tuna. And because Brandon was such an OG watcher last season, we named it Tuna Clock. And, I think at the end of the day, like I said at kind of the beginning of the show, where you know, you have a game like you had last night, and that was a tough game, right? It was a tough game, and you look at it and you go, how can I have a positive spin on today? And it's because of people like Brandon. It's because of people like Martin, Blue Richard, Simon, Marty Boy, Rebel Montana, Ark, like Chili Main. Like, I tell you this, you guys helped me get through a lot of shit, and I hope that the Raiders Report helps you get through some of those tough days, whether it's losing a parent, whether it's losing a friend, whether it's losing a football game. But, man, I think, you know, seeing what Brandon has done for this channel, seeing what a lot of y'all are doing for this channel, it proves to me every single day that Raider Nation, you don't have to be blood to be family. We have been able to build something very, very special here. And, Brandon, I know this, man. Your dad right now is looking down. Very, very proud of you. And I think he's also seeing how many lives you've been able to impact. And that's really, really special, my dude. All right, so happy birthday, Pops. Everybody get some HBDs in the comments.
I'm not a big backwards jersey guy like you, but I had to do it for the tuna.
You got to do it for the great tuna.
I had to do it for the tuna.
Also, shares a birthday with your fiancé.
Yeah.
Yep.
Today's my fiance's birthday.
Thanks, Nation, for being the nation. So I'm donating a jersey. Can I get a
Charlie Tuna
Bang! And wait.
There's more.
There's more.
David Zon Bang!
Happy birthday to the great
And
tuna.
Brandon, David, you're in the duck race.
You're in the duck race, but man, what a day. What a day. And you know how I said earlier, y'all, that we would do a Real One for Life shirt giveaway? I'm going to change that. We're going to do a Raiders jersey giveaway today in honor of the great tuna.
$5 special tuna birthday.
$5 to get in. All you got to do, $5 super chat. You're entered to win entered in the duck race. First 100 people that get in have a shot.
Everybody that sent in a 5, you're in. You're good already. So Taino, Rebel, Josh, Michael, Ludwig, Chewy, Rashissimo, Luke, y'all are all good.
Y'all are all good.
Taino, no one expected 17-0. Next 6 games are winnable. I still believe in 11 wins. Chandler, detrimental to the team. Cut now with no pay. Yeah. Yes.
I mean, they need to do that. Also, if you send a 100, for those that don't know, I got a Raiders helmet. We've been adding the decals there. I mean,
if anybody in your normal job was doing what Chandler Jones is doing, you'd be fired.
Yeah.
Immediately. Like, this is not acceptable in any form or fashion in any level of society.
I also think
you shouldn't be doing this.
I also agree with the idea that Taino said, and this is kind of what I said to myself walking into work today, and I think a lot of people can agree with this, where if I would have told you that the Raiders were 1-1, tied for first place in the AFC West, going into their home opener against the Pittsburgh Steelers, I mean, I don't really think many people thought that they were actually going to win against the Bills. It just sucked how bad the game was.
Not good news, but an interesting news.
Buddha?
No.
Oh.
Madden record, 2 for 2.
Yeah, the Madden record is 2 for 2. I thought you were talking about Buddha Baker. He just got placed on IR. So
no.
Kind of an interesting NFL move there.
We did the whole season.
Yep.
Simmed on Madden before this year. So far, the Sim's 2-0.
So far, yep, 2-0. Yep. All right.
You check that, Ryan. I'm at a loss for words.
You got it.
Me as well.
Ryan, I mean,
I'm also at a loss for words, not because of this, but for what just happened.
Yeah, something wild just happened. But Ryan, you watched that game yesterday, and you try not to get angry. And you just try to figure out a way to not get angry. I don't have an answer for you, but I am going to be talking about some topics today where we're going to put some players on blast. We're going to put some coaches on blast a little bit, and I'm going to say that I got 6 burning questions that I would love to be able to sit down and ask Josh McDaniels. I would love to be able to sit down and ask Dave Ziegler, because the questions that the media asks McDaniels at times, it just drives me insane because They're pointless questions. They're just a big old waste of time.
They're cupcake questions.
They are. They're softballs. They're softballs, and all McDaniels does is deflect, deflect, deflect. But hey, man, huge shout out to Brandon Jasper. Huge shout out to the Great Tuna. Happy birthday to him. And the reason why we are doing a Raiders Report jersey duck race giveaway at the very end of today's show, it's because Brandon Jasper. Tuna. Spam those tunas down in the chat. I'll tell you what, I have banged that gong more than...
Hey, can y'all keep it down in there?
You guys get it. You guys get it.
We're trying to do a live show.
Tuna's been banging that gong, man. I think there's some dents in that gong from the Great Tuna. You want to shout out here on the Raider Sports? Spam Tuna right now.
The gong was so worth it.
I got G Money, Blue Richards, Chili Man, Juan Hernandez. What up, Joel Sanchez, Martin? All showing love to the Great Tuna. I got G Money, Eric. What up, Joseph, EG, Blue Richards, Marty Boy, Adrian Delgado. Look at that, Buddy Bear. What's up, Buddy Bear?
Lord, Buddy Bear. I've been hearing around the chat sports streets, Buddy Bear. You've been running wild.
Oh, dude, Buddy Bear's he's a legend. He's an often talked about person, and the reason is when people watch more than just the Raiders Report, that's a big pat on the back. Buddy Bear, we see you, man.
Adrian Delgado.
Tuna. And you in.
Get a pick.
And you in. What up, Chili Man? Sign me up, Coach. In.
Put me in, Coach. I'm ready to play today.
Mr. Casual Spaz. Patrick, it's free real estate. Graham. Does Max Crosby and the defense stamina no favors? Also, opposing defenses don't respect our offense. I mean, to me, I don't see how possibly you could watch yesterday's game when Max Crosby's getting double-teamed and Josh Allen is sitting back there with 4, 5, 6 seconds and not bring some blitzes. What drives me even more nuts is you just do the same thing over and over and over and over and over again and expecting a different result. Patrick Graham's bend but don't break defense. It's not going to work when your defense is on the field 9, 10 plays every single drive. I mean, the Raiders offense ran 39 plays. The time of possession battle was 40-20. That's not going to work.
Not good.
In the NFL. And you're right. Opposing defenses don't respect this offense right now, which is crazy considering how much talent we have. Mongol, duck race, cut Chandler, make a statement at home. You can silence a lot of doubters. And that's what I love about the NFL, right? Like, we can, I mean, let's just be real, right? If we're sitting here next week and the Raiders are 2-0, we're celebrating, we're having a good time. You can almost just forget about anything that just happened yesterday. If the Raiders lose and you're 1-2 and you lost to Pittsburgh, you barely beat a Denver team that just lost to the Commanders and you got blown out against the Bills, that panic button is going to start getting pushed. That I can promise you. All right, y'all, we got 2 Monday Night Football games tonight.
We have 3 watch parties here at Chat Sports. We have our Saints watch party against the Panthers. It's the #1 Saints channel on YouTube ahead of Wi-Fi Willie.
Borelli will be there.
And we have 2 watch parties going on for the Steelers and the Browns.
You got to warn me if you're going to do that.
Let me know which game is better. Which game are you tuning into? Type 1, you're doing the Saints and Panthers. 2, if you're doing the Steelers and Browns. Once again, 3 watch parties. So after this, if you still want to hang out on YouTube, if you want to watch the games, I highly encourage you to check out our other channels doing watch parties. They'll be having a lot of fun tonight. Saints with your boy Trizzy Tracy comes on the show. Pause. A lot here on the Raiders Report.
Facts.
And then FPD, he'll be doing the Browns stream tonight, and Jack Sperry will be doing our Steelers coverage tonight.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch. I mean, I'm going to try to tune into both of those games. I will watch the Panthers-Saints. I do like to see how the Saints offense looks.
Buddy Bear says, I'll be watching all 3.
Shout out to the Lord.
Buddy Bear on Saints. Chaco is watching Steelers.
Yep.
Roxy's watching Browns.
Yep. I think I'm going to watch the Panthers Saints. Obviously, I want to see how DC looks. I also have Alvin Kamara in like all my fantasy leagues, so I'm really hoping when he comes back, some of my leagues can get going here a little bit.
I've basically already won my game. The only person I have tonight is Najee, but I'm already up. He only has one player, and I think it's the defense for the Browns.
See, I'm worried.
I'm up by 25 points.
See, I'm worried because I also want to see how Bryce Young plays. Steelers, Browns, I'm going up against Deshaun Watson, but I do want to see. But I do want to see
you walked out of your
how
desk
the Steelers
to ask
look
me about it.
because obviously the Raiders go up against them. All right, Brandon Jasper, it's my birthday today as well. Today, the Venmo, the 500.
Oh, it's your birthday as well, Brandon.
Oh, wait, so Brandon, you have the same birthday as your dad? Am I understanding that correctly? Am I understanding that correctly?
If so, that's badass.
Is that a yes, Brandon? To be honest, I glossed right over that. That's insane to me. What up, Mr. Gaines? Renfrow took some plays off, which was giving away the play to the defense.
I mean, what plays did he give off? He wasn't out there a ton.
He was out there for 26 snaps, and I was a little frustrated because, Christian Wilkerson got 29. Again, when you look at both of those players, Wilkerson's he's a better run blocker than what Renfrow is, but I actually do agree with Gaines here. Renfrow's frustrated. Renfrow is extremely upset with his lack thereof usage because there are routes where clearly he's not getting the ball. I went back and I watched some film last night. Again, with the earlier game, I had more time once I got home. He did. He took some plays off, which I was not happy about. But you could tell he's frustrated. But maybe there's a reason why he's frustrated. El Loco, happy birthday to Charlie, Tuna, Brandon Jasper, and Chugs' fiance.
Yeah, I'm taking her out tonight. Big dinner. Going to Carbone.
Carbone. Wow.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Dude, I'm excited for you. Great food. I took Alex there on a birthday last year. Carbone was good. The dessert was even better.
Really?
Yeah.
So I actually didn't get her birthday cake. I got her. I sang her happy birthday with candles this morning.
Sure.
I got her an apple pancake. So basically, it's like a mixture of an apple pie and a pancake.
Bro.
Very good.
That sounds phenomenal.
Very good. But I got her that instead of a birthday cake later because she's not a huge cake fan.
Really?
She likes it. But
I honestly, I'm kind of the same way. I would rather have like a cheesecake over like a typical birthday cake or something like that. Different kind of desserts, no doubt. All right, what up, Killa? Let's go, Raiders. Get this home opener win. I'm bummed out that Renfrow is not getting touches. What's the plan you think for this coming week? Can you put me into my wife, Allie, in the duck race? You got it, Killa.
Allie cruising.
One of my burning questions, and again, one of the segments that we are going to do here, I'm still going to roll through these super chats. As long as they come in, I'll answer the supers. The way that I wanted to do today's show was I don't want to drink today. I want to treat today's show after a loss like we had as a vent session. I don't know about y'all. I need to talk. Like when I watched the Raiders play the way they did, I went home yesterday and I was talking to Alex about it. And I love Alex to death, but she doesn't want to sit there and listen to me bitch and moan about how bad the Raiders played. As soon as I got home, she goes, "So how'd the game go?" And I was like, "Oh, man, how much time you got?"
She's like,
I want to treat today's show. I want to treat today's show as a vent session. So if you need to talk, you want to give me your opinion on certain things, easiest way to do it is the super chat. Anime Ventura, put me in again as this deer nuts. So, you know what was funny? I went through my DMs the other day, and somebody said that they're going to start putting in for the duck races and using outlandish names. Just so they can hear me break it down. And the Steer Nuts with the win! That guy Ryan, long live the great Tuna. That guy Ryan, you in. Danny fan, I don't know if you're a Chargers fan or
he is.
What?
He is, but I guess he's also in.
I guess he's in for, I'll say this though, Danny fan, if you end up winning this duck race, you're not getting a jersey. You're just going to be a part of the duck race. So thank you. What up, Husker Raider? I'm choosing to watch Dave Chappelle tonight instead of bad football.
That's fair.
I'd say this. I would say you could watch Dave Chappelle tomorrow, and you could watch Monday Night Football tonight.
It's a doubleheader, too.
Yeah, I want to watch the Steelers game. Like, I want to see how Pittsburgh matches up and then how that's going to be able to translate, because I do think from watching the Bills and the Jets game the week before, and when you go back and you look at my keys to victory, I actually think I hit the nail on the head. The Raiders didn't do anything in my keys to victory. They might as well just throw that sucker out. But I want to see what Pittsburgh does, how that team looks, and what are the best ways to go forward. So that's what I want to see. What up, Miggy? What up, Miggy Camacho?
Happy belated B-Day, Chugs. Appreciate that, Miggy.
My birthday was the 16th, so we got Miggy Camacho, Jeremy Chugs, and now the 18th is a big day.
Tuna, Brandon, Danny, my fiance.
I mean, that's happy birthday to Charlie Tuna, Brandon Jasper, Chugs' fiance. Cheers, Mitch. Let's go, Raiders. Miggy, you a real one, my brother. Miggy, are you going to be out there in Las Vegas this weekend? You're one guy that I know for a fact, if I saw Miggy walking down the road, I'd be like, that's mother effing Miggy Camacho.
Miggy, can't you see?
What up, Luke? Just focus on Pittsburgh, make some changes, and beat the Steelers.
Oh, and Killis is tomorrow.
Killis tomorrow.
Big slate.
Dude, I don't know what y'all's families were doing 9 months ago.
So September 12th is...
It's like kind of like New Year's Eve, right?
It was like September 12th or 13th is the most popular birthday in the world.
Because people get trashed on New Year's Eve.
Mm-hmm. New Year's baby.
Because people get trashed on New Year's. It makes sense. Literally a big bang. Cameron Sproul with a 50. The optimist in me says we are not in the Bills league. We lost to a Super Bowl contender. Let's get this one against the Steelers and build our confidence. The pessimist in me says the Jets need a QB. We need a defensive tackle. And let's
get Quinnen Williams.
Unfortunately, you're not going to get Quinnen Williams. But you're right, though. The Jets do need a quarterback. The Raiders do need a defensive tackle. Shit, we might need 2 defensive tackles right now. If you keep up to date with me on Twitter.
Yeah, Simeon, let's not say that. I'm going to put you in timeout, buddy.
Yeah, Simeon, you're going to have to get out of here, bro.
Not cool.
Come on, man. I think that all these things are true. I do think that the Bills are out of the Raiders league, but I'm also a big believer that certain teams up against other teams, there's just mismatches. The Jets matched up well against Buffalo because they were able to bring 3 or 4, get after Josh Allen. You pressure Josh Allen. He's going to try to make some mistakes, or he's going to try to make the big play, but that's going to happen with mistakes. If you let a player like Josh Allen sit back there, they're going to pick you apart. Any NFL QB, especially a top 5 QB in the league that has his arm talent, if you give them 4, 5, 6 seconds to throw, you're not going to win that football game.
Also, when you have 3 defensive ends with 2 of them being unproven guys, young guys who really don't have a lot of skins on the wall in this league, not good looks.
Yeah.
Not good looks. When you only have 1 good pass rusher. I mean, I would say you only have 1 average to above average pass rusher in Max Crosby, who is great.
Yep.
But if you're the only good player on a team, like if it's Max Crosby, me, and Mitch on the D-line, Max Crosby's getting worked.
Yeah.
Because he's getting double and triple teamed.
As he should, right? It's just what's frustrating is right now the Raiders have allowed an 81.7% completion percentage. It is the worst in NFL history through 2 games. The worst. 81.7% completion percentage. Think about that for a second. That's terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Coming up here, though, on the Raiders Report.
That's just terrible, Ernie.
We're going to look at some Raiders on the hot seat. We got some burning questions entering Week 3 against the Pittsburgh Steelers. If you guys want to continue to vent, hashtag Raiders or Super Chat. And then at the very end of today's show, we are going to be doing a duck race. Winner gets a Raiders Report jersey. We were going to do the Real One for Life shirt, but we're going to do a Raiders Report jersey giveaway courtesy of this man right here, Brandon Jasper. As expected, here's a shout out for locals. For the best content, personal interactions, weekly pick'ems, and more live shows. If anybody wants to join me, Brandon, and a bunch of the other diehard Raider fans over on Locals, all you got to do is go to that link that you see below, RaidersReport.locals.com. All right, Chugs, you guys ready to get into some Raiders content? We just vented for a good 40 minutes, and I already feel a lot better.
Yeah?
I really do. I think when you can sit back, talk about what the hell's going on in your mind.
You needed it.
You needed it once in a while. Also, Saquon Barkley is expected to miss 2 to 3 weeks.
My fantasy team is effed. No, it's not.
I have my one fantasy league. In my family league, I have Burrow, Rodgers. I have Jacobs, which has been a brutal, brutal start. I've had a few wide receivers already get hurt. My family league is in shambles, but I know nobody cares about your fantasy team.
I'll be decent. I have DeAndre Swift. Hopefully it's not just a one-hit wonder.
Yeah, I get that. Oh, man. I can't believe Chandler Jones.
Somebody told me not to play him last week on Thursday. Somebody told me not to play him, which I know nobody cares about my fantasy team, but at the same time, Saquon getting hurt really affects it. So
I can't believe Chandler Jones is claiming that he got hacked. I mean, that's just the most insane thing that I've seen in a long time. Most insane thing I've seen in a long time. All right, y'all, without further ado.
I'm adding that screenshot in there, right? At
the
very end?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, we just got another one rolling in here from Sean Martinez. My son's birthday was the 16th. Can he get a belated happy birthday shout out from Sean? Sean, you in? I mean, now we know what Sean was doing on New Year's, which
Sean,
it's starting to be a common thing here.
Sean, let's see, in 2007. Congrats.
The ball dropped.
Congrats.
In 2007, the ball really dropped
New
there
Year's
for Sean.
2007, Sean Martinez.
He said facts.
He said,
I mean, 10, 9, 8. I'm
done.
I'm done. Sean Martinez,
Congrats,
happy birthday, and congrats on the sex. All right, coming up here on the show, let's talk about some players that are on the hot seat after a brutal 38-10 loss. You ready? Wait, hang on. Who's the sponsor? No. AG. Yep, hot seat. AG. I just wanted to make sure. No. It's not. We're good. Yeah, you're good. It's right in the middle. I think it's just got to be in the first half of the vid. And then we should be good. All right, y'all. Sorry. Miggy, Eric, what up, ITK, Big Island, David's on. Here we go. 710 people watching. Raider Nation, what's going on? It's Mitchell Renz here, host of the Raiders Report. And coming up on our show, which Raiders players and coaches are on the hot seat after a 38-10 embarrassing loss to the Buffalo Bills? I see on social media certain players are getting ripped. I see on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, a lot of different players' names are continually getting thrown out there. What I'm going to tell you today is I got players on the hot seat and players that we're going to have to pump the brakes on them just a little bit. Let's go to the first name here on the show. It's Josh McDaniels, and guess what? His seat is red freaking hot. Just because I'm saying a player, a coach is on the hot seat, it does not mean that I'm sitting up here saying Josh McDaniels is going to get fired, because if you've watched the show before, you'll know that I don't think that McDaniels is going to get fired. But he is getting a lot of bad attention right now, considering the fact that his team did not show up and that they simply were not ready to play. I am getting really frustrated with McDaniels' inability to make changes in a game. That first touchdown drive was great for the Raiders. After that, though, McDaniels didn't change. He did not do anything. I don't know what excuse we're going to hear. I don't know how he's going to be able to deflect this one. But when your team lays a stinker like they did against Buffalo, that's on you. That's on you. Let's go to the next one here. It's Jimmy Garoppolo, and yeah, guess what? His seat is also really hot. Is Garoppolo going to get benched? No, it's not the plan, and like I mentioned, McDaniels likes to stick to his plan. But the reason why Jimmy Garoppolo's seat is hot right now is because defenses don't respect him. They don't. Anybody who watches a Raiders game right now knows that defense is going to stack the box. They're going to put 8, 9 guys up front, and they're going to say, I dare you to throw it deep. The Raiders won't do it. And if they don't do it, your running game's not going to get going. And with Raider fans not having a lot of patience at the quarterback position, I'm right there with them, believe me. I heard the amount of people talking about Derek Carr was disgusting yesterday. But the other reason why that he's on the hot seat is because there's a guy named Aiden O'Connell. And I'm not saying that O'Connell's ready to go right now, but I know that O'Connell can throw the ball down the field. And if Josh McDaniels believes that O'Connell can run his offense, you better be able to find a QB really, really quick who can throw the ball more than 50 yards, because I don't know if Jimmy Garoppolo can throw a football 50 yards right now. My question to you is this, though, and this is going to be the pinned comment on today's show. Who has the hotter seat right now? I know it's a weird thing to say, right? Who's got the hotter seat right now? Is it Jimmy Garoppolo, or is it the Raiders head coach, Josh McDaniels? If you think it's the QB, I want you to type G. If you think it's Josh McDaniels, I want you to type M. My answer is going to be coming up right now here after this YouTube ad break. My answer of whose seat is hotter, it falls on the shoulders of your head coach. It falls on Josh McDaniels. Does Jimmy Garoppolo deserve blame? Yeah, no doubt about it. But I sent this tweet out earlier today, and if anybody ever wants to follow me on Twitter or X, whatever the hell you want to call it, at MitchellRenz365, I said, the defense playing bad today falls on the shoulders of Dave Ziegler and Josh McDaniels way more than Patrick Graham. The Raiders had money and draft capital to invest on the defensive side of the football this offseason. Sure, they added some help, but the Raiders put a larger emphasis on offense this offseason, and an offense that has scored 27 points. The Raiders have one of the most expensive offenses in the entire National Football League. Does Patrick Graham deserve blame? Oh, yeah, we're going to talk about him here in just a little bit. McDaniels has done everything he wanted this entire offseason to build an offense that he wants to create, and it's been this bad. McDaniels, if you're an offensive guru, prove it. Let's go to the next player. It's Josh Jacobs. His seat's not hot. Let's take a little bit of a breath here. Can Jacobs be better? You're damn right that he can be better, and Josh knows that he can be better, but it is not fair to put the amount of pressure that he is getting right now and sit up here and say, oh, it's because Jacobs wasn't around the offseason. That's a little bit of an impact. But Jacobs' struggles have way more to do with McDaniels and have way more to do with Jimmy Garoppolo than Jacobs himself. When he gets the ball in his gut, he doesn't have any time to run the rock. It's been bad. There's no doubt about it, and they might have the worst running game in the league right now. The offensive line for run blocking hasn't been nearly as great, but when there are 8 guys in the box, I'm sorry, you're going to lose those games. You're going to lose those matchups. And until the Raiders prove that they can throw the ball further than 20 yards, it's going to happen over and over and over and over again. The definition of insanity is trying to do the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. McDaniels, I need to see a different result. Let's go to Hunter Renfrow here. How hot is his seat? It's not hot, and it shouldn't be hot. If anything, I don't even know if he has a seat at the table. Like, how can your seat be hot if I don't? There was a point in yesterday's game, I'm being a little sarcastic here, but I was like, oh, it's good to know that Renfrow actually plays for the silver and black. He got 26 snaps, only 39 on offense. I hear you. But Christian Wilkerson's out snapping him. Yeah, Wilkerson's a better run blocker. Wilkerson ain't making $13 million this upcoming season. The problem with McDaniels is he told everybody that, oh, we're going to use Hunter Renfrow. We got a plan for Renfrow. He even said today at this press conference that he wants him to be able to get more opportunities going forward. You're the head coach. Figure out a way to get the ball in his hands a little bit more, or else why are we paying a guy all this money if you're not going to use him? If you're not going to use Hunter Renfrow, trade him. Trade him, get extra draft capital. Go out and get another defensive player, because to spend that much money on a dude right now that you're not going to use, it doesn't make any sense, and I'm going to lose my freaking mind. Also, I don't know about y'all, yesterday, you had some drinks probably on a Sunday, and you're looking to be a little bit more healthy. I know it's exactly what I needed this morning, and I had some AG1 the first thing I did when I woke up. It's going to promote your gut health, supports immunity, and boost focus and energy, and I want you guys to go ahead and try it at drinkag1.com/chatsports. So the Raiders Report is sponsored by AG1. I have AG1 by Athletic Greens literally every day. Get comprehensive, convenient daily nutrition at drinkag1.com/chatsports. I gave AG1 a try because I wanted immune system support and wanted a supplement that tastes great. I take AG1 in the morning, and it makes me feel ready to take on my day. My grandparents always said that the early bird gets the worm, and AG1 inspires and motivates me to get as many worms as possible every day. AG1 really helps me getting my day started, getting out of bed after a 38-10 blowout loss to the Bills. It's not easy, and I'm a person who likes and needs a routine. AG1 helps me stick to my healthy routine where I can wake up early, take my AG1, take Chuck for a walk, then hit the gym before work. Covering my nutritional base for the day literally couldn't be any easier, which is why I trust AG1. I just mix one small scoop of AG1 with water and drink it first thing in the morning. Done. I also like it because it costs less than $3 per day. That's pretty good if you ask me. It's a really effective daily habit with the highest quality sourced ingredients. It's a win-win. If a comprehensive solution is what you need from your supplement routine, then AG1 is giving you a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. So, Nation, go to drinkag1.com/chatsports. That's drinkag1.com/chatsports. Check it out. Link's going to be in the comments and in the description of today's show. Let's go to the next guy on the hot seat. It's Patrick Graham. Yes, Patrick Graham's on the hot seat. Josh McDaniels is on the hot seat. I have said it once. I have said it twice. Shit, I don't know how many times I have said it. I believe the Las Vegas Raiders are one of the worst coach teams in the NFL for the simple fact of you got two guys, Josh McDaniels and Patrick Graham, that are so proud that we run a system. And they continually try to run a system over and over and over again. And even if it's not working, they just say, well, we did it before. Why don't we just keep trying to do it? The fact that the Raiders did not blitz at all yesterday, sure, there was one or two blitzes, but how are you just going to line up four guys every single play, let Josh Allen get 4, 5, 6 seconds, pick you the hell apart, and just sit there and wonder, well, I can't believe that we gave up 38 points. The Raiders are lucky that they only gave up 38 points. Patrick Graham's now up top. He's trying to do that so he can see the field a little bit better, which I'm hoping was going to be a different result. But to see what Graham did yesterday, holy shit, man. I can't believe what I saw. I can't believe that they just continually tried to do the same thing over and over and over again on defense. Patrick Graham deserves a lot of blame. And yes, when you're as bad as this Raiders defense is yet again, your ass, the seat, it's getting hot. Let's go to the next name here. It's Tre'von Moehrig, and I do think that his seat is hot. However, out of all the players that you're going to see today, his seat is the least hot, I guess. But the reason why I'm challenging Moehrig here is because I had a lot of high hope in Moehrig. And, you know, you fall in love with certain players because you watch their college tape. You're like, man, the Raiders needed a safety. They finally get a safety. And when I don't feel like a player is living up to their own personal expectations slash personal ability, I get frustrated because Moehrig, to me, can be a very good safety. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if he has these mental lapses where he's not thinking out there on the field. But yesterday was an okay day. And over a quarterback rating against them, over 110, I want to say. Not great. But it was like the helmet-to-helmet hit. It really was a bad momentum shift for this team. And he just seems to always have one play a game where you're like, what the hell are you doing? It's time to wake up because I would like to see Chris Smith. Roger Teamer's a little bit of an iffy player, but if Moehrig doesn't get his shit together, I think it's only a matter of time before you see Chris Smith active and out there on the field. Let's go to another player here. It's Jakorian Bennett, and his seat is not hot. Was he bad yesterday? Yes. He gave up a quarterback rating of a perfect 158.3. When targeted yesterday, he gave up targeted 6 times, 6 catches for 84 yards and a touchdown. But you know what would really help out your rookie corner if you were smarter as coaches? One of my keys to victory was make sure that you don't put Jakorian Bennett on Stephon Diggs. And what do I mean by that? The Bills yesterday did everything in their power to put Stephon Diggs on Jakorian Bennett. If you were a smart defensive-minded coach, you would figure out a way to make sure that Jakorian Bennett's not going to be in a situation where he's one-on-one with Stephon Diggs, and not only just one-on-one with Stephon Diggs or one-on-one with any other Bills wide receiver, but if you're going to give Josh Allen 4, 5, 6 seconds and you're going to expect the rookie to cover Stephon Diggs for that amount of time, you're insane if you think that he's going to win those times. He has shown that he's a good tackler. But I hate to break it to you. A rookie, an NFL corner, nobody's covering a receiver in today's day and age for 4, 5, 6 seconds. And if you're expecting that, you're just as crazy as everybody out there saying the Raiders should move on from Jakorian Bennett. I had somebody tweet that at me. I quote tweeted it. I couldn't believe it. But yeah, that's out there. Let's talk about Tyree Wilson. What about his seat? Is it hot? No. Calm down a little bit. I know people are frustrated with Tyree Wilson, and it's because he's another first-round pick, number 7 overall, and people want to see a little bit more from the rookie. Here's the thing. There's 2 things with this. One, Tyree Wilson actually had a higher win rate, pressure rate than Max Crosby did yesterday. And if you watch the film compared to week 1 to week 2, you're going to see that. Shout out to my guy Tristan on Twitter. Also, he had the Instagram account Scout. No, unfortunately, hasn't been able to get it back. But I thought he brought this up, and I was like, thank the Lord that somebody else is seeing what I'm seeing here. Tyree Wilson had a higher pass rush win rate this week than Max Crosby. Calling a player a bust after 2 weeks is just outlandish and foolish. Everybody needs to stop. And he's 100% right. Everybody does need to stop. The plan with Tyree Wilson was to ease him in slow, that he wouldn't have to go out there and put himself in a bad situation, because to me, I look at Tyree Wilson and I say he's not 100% healthy. There's no way that he's 100% healthy, but the Raiders are putting him in a position because Chandler Jones is too busy being a knucklehead. If Chandler Jones could just be an adult and get on the field, which I should say, I don't want Chandler Jones on the field. I don't think Chandler Jones should ever be allowed to wear a Raiders uniform again. He should never be allowed to do it. But because Chandler Jones is a knucklehead right now, that's putting Tyree Wilson in a really unfair situation. Has he played as well as Jalen Carter? No, but nobody expected Tyree Wilson to play as well as Jalen Carter did right away. So comparing the two is not a fair comparison at all. But I do want to know, because this is what this show here is about. Is Tyree Wilson on the hot seat in your opinion? When you think about the rookie, is he on a hot seat right now? I want you to type Y for yes, or I want you to type N for no. Let's go to the next name here, and it's Chandler Jones. This seat is red freaking hot. I can't believe that he hasn't been cut yet. I don't know what the Raiders are trying to do. I don't know what the situation is, but every single day that Chandler Jones is a member of the Las Vegas Raiders, Raider fans should take that as an L. The players in that locker room should take that as an L. If I was a team captain, I'd walk into Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler's room and I'd say, I know that we keep saying this is internal, but we came together as a unit this offseason and said that we are going to do everything in our power to make sure that we don't have off-the-field drama, okay? The Raiders beat the Denver Broncos, and Chandler was doing his thing. And, you don't really talk about it that much because a win can quiet a lot. You lose 38-10 to the Buffalo Bills. You got Chandler Jones saying the shit that he's been saying on social media, and I know, I see it. Chandler said that his account got hacked. How many people actually believe that Chandler Jones' account got hacked? I mean, if you think that his account actually got hacked, you're probably somebody that spends your weekends looking for Bigfoot. You're probably somebody that takes an entire honeymoon vacation looking for the Loch Ness Lake Monster. It's not a real thing. Chandler Jones did not get hacked, and for him to even say that and make the allegations that he did, to make the allegations that Chandler Jones did, I don't even feel comfortable saying it out loud because that's how despicable it is to me. You got to get that guy off your team. You got to get that guy off your team. I don't know how else to say it. It's disgusting to me. And then the last one here, it's all the defensive tackles. It's not just Byron or Bilal Nichols, who he hasn't been good, but it's all the defensive tackles. When I watch the Raiders defensive tackles play, it makes me want to just slam my head against the wall over and over and over again, because I feel like that's what McDaniels and Patrick Graham try to do with the defensive tackles. They try to sit up here and try to tell us that, oh, it's okay, we have the right defensive tackles for the job. No, you don't. There's no way that you could possibly think that. Through 2 games this season, this is where the Raiders DTs, according to PFF, stack up. John Jenkins is your best. I should mention that this is out of 160 defensive tackles. So John Jenkins got the 112th best rating. Adam Butler's at 123. Bilal Nichols at 135. Jerry Tillery at 145. Byron Young at 146. And you haven't even given the rookie, Nesta Jade Silvera, a shot to go yet. What's frustrating about it is for 2.5 years, Raider fans have been begging. Can you do something with the defensive tackle room? And Josh McDaniels decided, you know what, instead of spending extra money, because I get it. I see people on social media saying, well, the defensive tackles are getting overpaid. Cool. All right. Hear me out. What if we would have used some of that money to go out and get a defensive tackle that you spent all that money on the offensive side of the football? Like, when you consider the fact that this was a known, anybody that has an ounce of football knowledge knows that the Raiders' defensive tackle room was one of the worst in the league. And now you see 2 games in a row, oh, wow, shit, the defensive tackle room's bad. You know why? Because you don't have the talent out there. And if you don't have the talent, it's not easy to go out there and compete. Right now, McDaniels is going out there telling Patrick Graham to try to win a drag race with a Prius. The worst part, Patrick Graham's actually trying to win a drag race with a Prius. That's why these coaches drive me nuts. If you want to know what our programming schedule is for the remainder of the week, we go live every single Monday, Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. I'll be back tomorrow live on the Raiders Report. Then we're going to be doing a watch party on Thursday at 7:20 Eastern Time for Giants 49ers. I don't know who I'm going to be rooting for in that game. That's going to be a tough one. I'm not going to lie. Yeah, hopefully there's a tie. And then we're going to be live on Sunday for the Raiders-Steelers game. Chugs and I also going to be out in Las Vegas. If you don't already know, you can check out my social media, theblackoutdivision.com, and see where Chugs and I are going to be on Saturday. One more time here. Here are the Raiders on the hot seat. McDaniels, Garoppolo, it's hot. Patrick Graham, it's hot. Josh Jacobs, Hunter Renfrow, not so hot. And then you got Moehrig, Chandler Jones, defensive tackles in general, all on the hot seat. Jakorian Bennett and Tyree Wilson, their seats are not nearly as hot. If you guys want to subscribe to the Raiders Report, remember we're pumping out content more than anybody here on YouTube for news, for rumors, for analysis, for watch parties. If you're a diehard Raiders fan, you bleed silver and black, I promise you this. Watch the show for a week. If you learn something, cool. If you don't learn anything, you're like, I can't stand this guy, unsubscribe. You have absolutely, positively nothing to lose. All right, y'all, we got 730 people here. Chugs, who you got tonight? Steelers, Browns. Who you going with?
I think I got
Honestly, I might go with my same exact thing that I said last week. I want the Steelers to win this game so they're not 0-2 in desperation mode going into Allegiant.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
Yeah. I can't root for Deshaun Watson.
I'm with you there, too. I love PD.
I know the Steelers and Raiders are more of a rivalry than the Raiders and Browns.
Yep.
The immaculate reception or non-reception.
Yep. It hit the ground.
Yeah. Facts.
I'm going to be rooting for the Steelers.
I think I'm going to go for the Steelers in this one.
Yeah, I think right now the Browns are one of the teams that I just can't root for because of Watson. And
I have Najee Harris on my fantasy team, so I'm hoping he kind of turns it around a little bit this week.
I have Najee in one of my fantasy leagues. I don't know what league I have him in, but yeah, he's in one of them. Cameron, I'm not doing that. I'm just going to tell you all this right now. If you mention the name Wi-Fi Willie in this chat, you get put in timeout or blocked. So let's stop doing it. 720 people here in the building, 370 likes. Cheers to all of y'all.
Cheers.
Patrick B says Raiders-Browns were big in the 80s. Honestly, Patrick B, I don't remember that too well. Let's go to Ryan Bass. What's up, my brother? A friendly reminder that we're going to be doing.
Nowhere near the Steelers.
No.
Rivalries.
I don't think it was bigger than Raiders-Steelers. Remember, y'all, at the very, very end of today's show, we are going to be doing a Raiders jersey duck race, courtesy of Brandon Jasper. So, Ryan, you in. Less than half of you watching like right now, or you eat corn the long way. Ryan.
It's still that way.
I know.
Less than half.
No.
I'm bad at math.
I was going to say, not quite. But if you don't eat corn the long way, then hit that like button. All right, let's go to the next one. Rolling in here from Luis Rodriguez, always watching Raiders.
You in.
What up, what up? Let's go to JRO182. Like an abusive parent, McDaniels and Ziegler should be arrested for neglect for what they have done to this defense. Maybe the bad defense is what made Chandler Jones go nuts. I'm not going to say that last part's true because I think Chandler Jones made himself go nuts. But I do think, like, one of the things that I really tried to say on social media yesterday was a lot of people are pointing the finger at Patrick Graham, and Patrick Graham deserves blame, right? I mean, there's no doubt about it. He can't keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. But the problem people aren't realizing is the Raiders had opportunities this offseason to make that defense better. Okay, I do think that the depth's better. I do think that there are some pieces out there that this defense might be better than what it was last season, which I get it. It's not saying a lot. However, the Raiders took it upon themselves to make an offense a bigger point and try to build the offense up and just put the defense on the back burner. Like, that falls on Ziegler. That falls on Josh McDaniels. Like, they deserve more blame for how bad the defense was yesterday than Patrick Graham. Patrick Graham's just got to drive whatever car they give him. If they don't give him the right car and they tell him to go out there and try to win that race, it's not going to be a successful thing. But Patrick Graham's going to try to do it, which I don't know if that's any better. Let's go to Lawrence Timothy. Travis, you in? Did you notice on Jimmy's first block pass to an interception that center 68 makes no attempt to block the defensive lineman? That runs straight through untouched to tap Jimmy's pass to pick 86.
So,
why not block?
I was actually talking about this during the game. I used to play left guard in high school. A screenplay, you have to get a hand on your guy. He was too, ready to go up to the next level, go get the linebacker and get his next assignment, that he totally forgot to even, graze the defensive tackle. Because for a screen to work, you have to make it an illusion that you're trying to block somebody and they beat you.
Yeah.
If you just run by them, defensive tackles, they're not dumb. They're like, okay, why is no one blocking me? Oh, maybe it's a screen. So if you neglect to even block any of the defensive linemen and they run upfield, it's going to ruin the screenplay altogether. And Andre James was so ready to get to that next level, he didn't touch the defensive tackle, which then pressured Jimmy, which made him throw an errant pass before he was ready, and then it got tipped up and intercepted.
Yeah, which is kind of funny, Lawrence. I'm going to put a link right now in the chat. I literally tweeted the exact same thing. So I said that I thought that the interception, the first one, was more on Andre James because of everything that Jeremy just said. If you're going to just expect, literally it was like down, set, hike. Andre just ran that way, and I think even the defensive tackle was like, "You're not all right, cool. I'm going to come right here."
Yeah, and when you do that, it also alerts the linebackers and defensive ends that are right there that, hey, the center's not blocking the defensive tackle who's running straight, and that's probably part of the reason why the Bills' defensive end was like, hey, I'm not going to run upfield. I'm going to wait here, and he got his hand on the football.
I even see Marcel Edwards saying, where is the player development? Too many Raiders leave and turn into better players elsewhere. The problem is the Raiders' scouting department is awful. I mean, I don't understand how a lot of these guys still have jobs in the scouting department, and I agree with you. Their player development is terrible, and it's been terrible for a very long time. Let's go to LI Raider 312. Say Jones is cut and Renfrow moved. What kind of money are we looking at and who we got?
So with the Jones contract.
So it depends how they cut Jones, right? If they just cut Chandler Jones and they don't do it with conduct detrimental to the team, they're eating like $13 million. They save only a few $100,000 or something like that. If you do it with conduct detrimental to the team, and honestly, I think somebody told Chandler Jones to say that your account got hacked because the allegations that he made against Mark Davis yesterday. 100%.
100%.
However, though, because those allegations are out there and because of everything that has happened over the 2-week span or 3-week span, probably even a month at this point, nobody's going to believe that his account actually got hacked. And there is enough evidence out there. If you go read the bylaws of the NFL and conduct detrimental to the league, there is more than enough evidence there that the Raiders could cut Chandler Jones and void his entire contract. It would be exactly what they did a few years ago with Antonio Brown. And if that happens, I don't know exactly how the money ends up working out because they restructured his deal, but I would imagine that they would end up getting back a significant amount of money, probably like 20-something million, because the problem with the guarantees are they gave him guarantees up front. Again, I have to look at the exact details, but then in terms of trading away Hunter Renfrow, you still then save probably now you'd save around $9-ish million if you traded Renfrow that you'd get money back. And you'd be able to invest that money into something. So you got to do something, man. you got to do something.
His agent 100% was like, hey, you got to put this out or they're going to cut you and you won't get any money.
Yeah, I mean,
100%. And if he's not getting paid, that means the agent's not getting paid.
To make an allegation that Mark Davis is crazy. Aggressive masquerader. Whole game was booty cheeks minus the first drive. I think that's what made it frustrating. I want to know what happened to Trey Tucker. I don't understand how any offensive guru can see Trey Tucker take an end-around 34-yarder and just say, you know what?
That's good for today.
We're good.
We'll save them for next game.
I mean, there was even a play. Sure, the deep ball, they tried to go to Trey Tucker, which I'll admit should have been pass interference. So there were 2 plays that, realistic to me, were 30-plus plays, 30-plus yard plays. And he didn't even see any action after that. I don't understand how on God's green earth that can ever happen. Like, McDaniels at times just tries to really, really overcomplicate things. Like, if he's going to roll with this 6th offensive lineman, sometimes you can't run the football when you have the extra offensive lineman in there. Because guess what? Every time Thayer Munford's in there, I feel like it's a one right up the middle here with Josh Jacobs. You got to start doing some other shit, man.
Something I haven't seen at all, which Jimmy did a ton of in San Francisco. Josh did it a little bit last year. But, I mean, I believe you have some of the guys to do it, is wide receiver screens. How many wide receiver screens have we seen this year?
Not many.
And that's one way to stop them from, stacking the box. Because if they have 7, 8 guys within the tackle box right there, and you fling it out quick to somebody dynamic like Trey Tucker, Davante Adams, somebody out there on the outside, and he can make somebody miss, it's a one-on-one play.
I mean, that's what they did that first drive. I mean, that first drive, it's exactly what they did. Like, the Trey Tucker end around 34 yards set up perfectly, and then the touchdown to Davante Adams was on a wide receiver screen. It was a quick throw to Davante. You let an athlete be an athlete. Really good block. I forget who the receiver was that blocked for Davante. And then Davante had one-on-one. And
I think it might have been Wilkerson.
It might have been Wilkerson. It had one-on-one opportunity, and guess what? If Davante Adams is in open field with a one-on-one, I'm going to take that every single day of the week, and so should the Raiders. Let's go to Chris. Crosby is mid. I don't care how you feel, but he's mid. Doesn't start showing up until midseason, falls off at the end, paying Ferrari prices for a Camry. Chris, I'm going to say this. We've had a lot of really, really bad takes on this show. This is probably one of the worst takes I've ever seen. To call Max Crosby mid, honestly, goes up there. Did Chandler Jones hack your account? Like, I don't know what even to say to this. I'm not going to acknowledge this because this is a...
Well,
this has to be Chandler Jones.
This is a common misconception because this is like somebody who goes strictly off the box score. They're like, wait, Crosby had 0 sacks? He sucks!
I'm telling you what, I've been looking at Chandler Jones' social media for 2 weeks in a row. This is something that Chandler Jones would put out there.
Like,
I actually can't.
It's just one of those things where it's like you don't really watch the game and you don't really watch what's going on, and you're just like, you know what? He didn't have a sack this game. He sucks.
I mean, dude was getting doubled and triple teamed yesterday. I mean, I'll still say that out of some of the games that I've watched, they did a really good job of limiting Crosby's ability. Now, but you could also see Crosby was gassed. Like, I can't even believe this is wild.
And
it's a wild statement.
Honestly, what it is also is, he's out there. Yes, maybe he didn't have his best game against the Bills, but if you're out there, like I said earlier, and you have guys like, if you have me and Mitch along the defensive line with Max Crosby, he's not getting to the quarterback.
I also think it's, you got to look at snaps for a defensive end. Last season, Max Crosby played like 300 more snaps than Nick Bosa, played 150 more snaps than Micah Parsons. He's out there so much because the Raiders need him to be out there. Chris, I appreciate that you watched the show. This is always last week. Hello. I mean, he had a sack last week. He was flying all over the football field last week, Chris. Again, I don't know what's going on with you, man. I hope whatever you're dealing with, you're okay. But to have this, to say that Max Crosby is mid is like Chandler Jones level of insanity.
It's okay for you to have your take. And, Chris, I want you to keep your takes, and I want you to keep on watching. But just know we're going to rip your takes
when they're
put
bad.
them up here.
If they're bad,
it's nothing against you, Chris. I'm not trying to crap on you. we just don't agree with this take. Me and Mitch both. So
Yeah. Rob.
and I mean, we do it to everybody here. Wild One has takes that are awful, but we still love Wild One.
Wild One and I have been
just like this.
Wild One and I have been battling it out in the text. Wild One's the guy that
Wild One has awful takes, but
he
we
reminds
still love him.
He
here.
reminds me of Marshall. He's somebody that really tries to get the fire going. He's a fire starter, there's no doubt. Rob, happy birthday to Tuna, real one for life. Rob,
all I could think of.
you in?
Hey, Sperry, what's up? The only thing I could think of with that last super chat was that gif where it's like, mid.
Honestly, Sperry in that all-black outfit, he looks like a
Slender Man.
Do you remember Salad Fingers? It's literally Rusty Spoons. Or just like black licorice. That's what. Oh, man. Rob, cheers to you. All right, y'all. We got one more segment here on the show.
Joseph, bring in Indamica Sue.
Indamica. I did that one last year. I bet you I talked about Indamica Sue on a weekly basis. Didn't happen.
Is it going to be one of those things where, like, every year, around like mid-season, towards the end of the year, some random Super Bowl contender is just going to sign Indamica Sue? Like, that's what it seemed like the past 4 years.
Probably.
Like, he's not in, he's not playing, and then all of a sudden it's like, Buccaneers Indamica Sue. Eagles Indamica Sue.
Yeah, Zon, I think Chris is trolling too. It's an elite troll, especially to send in a super chat. But
that's how you know. Chug, send someone to Chris's house to save him from himself. I'm gonna send over a couple Mormon teens to go talk to him.
You should have let that joke just soak or marinate a little bit longer. Who you got, Panthers or the Saints? Let me know down in the comment section. Monday Night Football. Our guy Trizzy Trace is going to be live on the Saints channel.
Wild One, stick around. He'll literally be in this studio after we leave. We're going to head out after the live show, and he's going to be in here.
I'm sure Borelli's going to be there. Who you got? Carolina, New Orleans. Chugs, who wins this game?
I think the Saints have a better overall team.
I agree.
But Monday Night Football, rookie, he struggled week 1. I could see like a kind of a, not a shootout, but a closer game than people think.
I think Carolina's got one of the worst offensive lines in the NFL, and I hate saying it, but I do think it's only a matter of time before Bryce Young gets injured because he's already super tiny.
Dude,
and he gets
that video from the preseason where
unbelievable,
or training camp where
he looks fake. He literally looks fake. He looks like you created the player on Madden, but you actually made him your size when you're 14 years old. You're like, all right, I'm 5'10". All right, I'm 160 pounds. I'll just put myself on the Carolina Panthers, #1 overall pick. Like, that's what he looks like.
He's still very skilled.
Oh, he's an incredible player. You got to be an incredible athlete. He's got the up here, but it's only so long of you taking a beating on your body. I mean, Andrew Luck's the perfect example of that, where dude had all the tools in the world, and he was much, much bigger than Bryce Young. And at one point, he was like, I can't do it anymore. Like, I can't.
Y'all want to do something fun?
Can't do it anymore. What?
Y'all want to do something fun?
What happened?
I'm going to put Trace's. He's not in here. So, okay. He won't hear.
I'm listening.
I'm going to put Trace's Twitter in the chat.
Yep.
He's our Saints fan.
Yep.
If we get 20 people to tweet at Trace saying, go Panthers or let's go Panthers, I'll take a shot.
Yeah?
I think it would be funny. 20 people, I put his link to his Twitter in the chat. If 20 people can go tweet at Trace and just bombard him with let's go Panthers, Panthers stuff.
Trace is one of those guys, if you've ever watched his live show before, he brings the energy, man. Like, I'm telling you what. He is 0 to 100 all the time. All the time. Zon just said F Trace.
Tweeted at him.
Tweeted at him,
say F Trace, go Panthers.
Yeah, dude, he looks like Salad Fingers. Unbelievable. It's kind of incredible.
Just go tag him in some tweets.
Go tag him in some tweets. All right, Chugs, we got one more segment to do here, and we have to get out of the studio in at least an hour because the other guy's got to come in here and get set up for Monday Night Football. So
Trace.
Keep Trizzy away from the gong from Robert. Zahn, I don't tweet. Zahn's definitely a get off my lawn guy sometimes. Zahn's the ideal person that you want to have at your bachelor party, but if you got an Uber or if you're trying to leave the bar early, he's not the guy for you. Dude, when we were partying in Philadelphia, again, this is before I went to my buddy's bachelor party. I mean, Zahn, again, I know that she was your friend, and maybe she's still your friend. That chick was nuts, and I say that in the nicest way possible. But, bro, there were so many times I was like, I'm toasted right now. We got to go home. It's like, I can't do this anymore, man. We gotta go home. Zahn's a good time. Zahn's a good time.
Go home, Marshall.
Zahn, you know.
Go home.
Zahn was like, man, we were toasted that night. We were so toasted that it was like when you put the marshmallow over the fire and you look at it and it's burning and then you stick it back in the fire. That's how toasted we were.
He said I was pissed at her.
Yeah, I know. It was a hell of a time, though. It's a hell of a day that I'll never remember, but I'll keep those memories forever. So, all right, y'all, we got
He said I was so pissed. It was such a good time.
Dude, it was a great time. It was such a good time. I mean, I say this the most respectful way possible. If Zahn and I would have just been able to hang out probably with just us, we wouldn't have had to babysit as much, but it was still a good time. The memories are there.
He said I made her go.
The memories were there. All right, y'all, coming up here, I got 6 burning questions going into Week 3 up against the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I mean, top trending topics type of ordeal. We'll talk about that, and then after, we will get into the duck race, and whoever wins that duck race gets a jersey from Mr. Brandon Jasper.
We'll hit some of these other supers in just a moment.
Yep. Robert Rebel said, I tweeted. Thank you, Rebel.
Appreciate it.
All right. Oh. Also, Jay, first-time super chatter. Cheers to you. We'll go through. How about this? Let's go through the super chats real quick that we got. You can skip Chris because he's trying to say bad things about Max Crosby. Ventura says, Chris, go eat corn the long way. I think then we can just go to Isaac Perez. Said, apologies if I missed it. Also, Isaac, you're in for a chance to win a Raiders jersey. Apologies if I missed it, but what's your take on the pass protection for the Raiders? To me, it looks solid. I think they have one of the best offensive lines in football right now for pass protection. PFF has them graded out as the second best. My eye test says the exact same thing. Like, this is a unit right now that from a pass blocking standpoint, they are doing everything correct. They are. They can pass block. It's just they got to learn how to run block a little bit better. But I do think the run blocking falls on the shoulders more of a McDaniels and Jimmy Garoppolo because nobody respects him. Nobody respects his ability to throw a football. And I got laughed at the other day when I said that I think that I can throw a football further than Jimmy Garoppolo. I got physically laughed at here. Do you still don't think that I can throw a football further than Garoppolo?
No.
Do you think he can throw a football 50 yards? Jimmy G, yes or no? Can Jimmy Garoppolo throw a football 50 yards?
Yes.
You do? You think he can? Okay. I want to see it then. My point is, if Garoppolo can throw a football 50 yards, I want to see it. Josh McDaniels said that he has no worries whatsoever about the Raiders being able to throw it. I want to see Jimmy Garoppolo throw a football 50 yards. I got to see it. Jay, hey, Mitch. Also, shout out to Jay, first-time super chatter. Which top 3 Vegas sports bar do you recommend for watch party this weekend in Vegas? My fiance and I will be there. Woohoo. Go Raiders. Well, Jay, if you want to hang out with Jeremy and I, we're actually going to be in Las Vegas. Not on Sunday for the game. Saturday, though, we're going to be partying. It's going to be the blackout home opener. We're going to be partying it up with Graphic Raider Cody. You can RSVP, get your tickets for free. It's 100% a free event to go to at blackoutdivision.com. It's going to be an awesome, awesome event. You can RSVP. All you got to do then is show up. You put your names on the list, and you get to get in. Giggity, right? So if you want to party with Jeremy Chuggs and I on Saturday night, this is where we're going to be. On actual game day, man, there's a lot of area. I'll always say that you should go tailgate. Should always go tailgate, and there's some places right on the strip that you can go to and watch the game. But this is going to be the blackout party that we're going to recommend. You don't got to show the Marquette King thing. Tropicana blackout event. If you want to party with Jeremy and I, it's this Saturday. I think it's going to be a hell of a time. I know it's going to be a hell of a time. Blackoutdivision.com. All right, let's go to another super chat rolling in here. Top 3 sports bars. That's where I don't know enough about the sports bars there, though. If you go to chatsports.com/RaidersBars, I went out to Vegas like 3 years ago, and I did like a top 15 place to watch a Raiders game. It's changed now, though. Defensive tackles stayed high and played patty cake. Poor technique. It's poor technique. It's a lack of depth. And it's just a lack of bad coaching, putting them in the same position over and over again. I mean, I've seen now probably 20 to 30 plays where the Raiders defensive tackle unit got pushed back 2 to 3 yards on a run play. Think about that. 2 to 3 yards.
Josh Allen got 4 yards on a QB sneak. Maybe 5 yards on a QB sneak. That's bad.
Yeah. Not like he's saying a QB sneak like where you call hike and you just dive forward. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. You're not just talking about like a scramble and picking up.
No, I'm saying like it was 4th and 1, QB sneak, Josh Allen, 5 yards. James Cook got 4 or 5 yards multiple times after he tripped.
Yeah, it's brutal, man. Wild one, you in. Okay, real take. Last year and this year, 2 things have yet to change. And game changes suck. I agree with that. And when something is working, Josh goes away from it. I agree with that. Like, the Trey Tucker example is the perfect thing of that, where I almost feel like McDaniels, he just creates this script that he's going to go with. And even if it's not working, he sticks with it. Like, he needs to learn how to make in-game changes better. And then when things, I don't know. Oh, him, like, he's super skinny? Yeah, it's a disaster. It's a disaster. Oh, that's the problem. He's lost all this weight, and I don't think he's mentally right. Mario! We got to get Mario on the defensive tackle line here. I'm sorry I can't stand by how defenses doubt our offense. We got all this horsepower, but no room to gallop. Jimmy G needs to start slinging it. I mean, there's 2 sides of this. There's one, Josh McDaniels needs to draw up more plays that gives Jimmy Garoppolo the ability to sling it, but then also, I think McDaniels knows that Garoppolo, he doesn't want him to get hurt. But when your pass blocking offensive line is giving Garoppolo these clean pockets to pass out of, you got to start taking shots down the field. Like, you got to start trying to do something different, because if you're expecting to have success when you're averaging 1.6 yards per carry with Josh Jacobs, it's going to be a long year, man. 2 games and 2 receivers concussed. When does this shit become an eye for an eye? Also concerned, Jimmy G is putting these guys in dangerous positions. I'm definitely not somebody that's going to say an eye for an eye. Like, I never think trying to purposely injure somebody is the right thing to do. It's definitely unfortunate with Jakobi Meyers, though I anticipate that he's going to play this week. Davante Adams is expected to play this week. But Garoppolo, putting him in bad positions, no. The throw that with Davante, I think that actually goes more on McDaniels, because why the hell is Davante even in that game then if you're going to be a coward and not go for it on 4th and 3 in midfield? So, to me, the Davante one's probably a little bit more on McDaniels. The one that happened to Jakobi, that's on Kareem Jackson, because guess what? He did it again this week. He knocked out another player. He's hit 2 players, helmet to helmet, and has knocked them both out. And yet the NFL said, we're not going to suspend them. Bullshit. Absolute bullshit. Mario, we need defensive tackle, linebacker. Can we please get someone? I know. I hope that we can get someone, Mario. All right, y'all, coming up here is going to be burning questions. Yep. Also, some news here. Dalton Reisner is signing with the Minnesota Vikings. Brandon, we'll do this one, and then we'll get into it. It's for Brandon. Can I get another Charlie Tuna? Everybody spam Tuna down in the comments. For those that do not know, it is Brandon Jasper's birthday. It is Tuna's birthday, and the jersey giveaway we are doing at the end of today's show, presented by Mr. Brandon Jasper. If you want to shout out here on the show, I want you to spam tuna right now. What up, Robert Jansen, Rebel Montana, Blue Richard, Sherry Lynn Collins. I got Terry McCaffrey, Road Dog, Michael Tobert, Wild 114, Tropical Remy, Ira Jackson. What up, Ira? What up, Davey Martin, Nick, Chrissy, Trash Key Tribe, Chuck Baker, OG Bloodstain. It's been a minute. We got Pimpin' Ain't Easy, Sean Martinez, Juan Hernandez, and the guy that got it started, Robert Jansen, David Zahn. Coming up here on the Raiders Report, let's get into 6 burning questions now that we are getting ready to get to our game up against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Raider Nation, what's going on? Coming up here on today's show, 6 burning questions before the Raiders play Pittsburgh, but I would not be able to do today's show if it wasn't for our awesome sponsor, RexMD. And if, guys, you got a hard time getting hard, go to rexmd.com/chat. So with the Raiders just getting blown out against the Buffalo Bills, we got to put that game on the back burner. Let's now look forward to Week 3, Sunday Night Football, the home opener at Allegiant Stadium. And these 6 burning questions are questions that if I had the opportunity to sit down with Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler, these are the questions that I am asking those two. The first question, how the hell is Chandler Jones still on this team? Can somebody answer that for me? Because anybody that respects what wearing the Raiders jersey means, what rocking that shield means, can somebody give me an answer how the hell Chandler Jones is still on this team? Yesterday, he tweeted these just obscene things. Now you're taking money out of my pocket. Here I'm watching my team lose because someone was molesting my goddaughter. He also said, you can call me whatever you want. CTE, a dumb football player, dumb black man, whatever y'all want, keyboard warriors. Meanwhile, our children are getting molested. He also then went on to say, He also went on to say, that's why I couldn't get a sack today, because people wanted to, you guys can put that one, it's supposed to be an E at the end of it, my stepdaughter, and not expect me to get upset. I get upset because he's throwing out allegations about somebody getting raped or molested, but you know what? He's not going to tell anybody because to him, I just want to play, but if I don't play, I'm going to tell everyone. It is an insane thing to make those allegations, but you know what? For those of you that are watching this show, when we record this live, Chandler Jones then went on social media and said, sorry for the mix-up, I was hacked, please forgive me. The fact that he threw out those things on social media and now somebody told him to just say that his account got hacked, it's despicable, it's disgusting. The Raiders have all the evidence that they possibly need to cut this guy for conduct detrimental to the team. But Chandler said those things. We all agree with that, right? Nobody thinks that Chandler Jones got hacked. He's posting videos of himself. He looks sick on social media. But what's crazy to me is not only are you making those allegations, and God forbid, like if they were true, obviously now we know that they're not true because Chandler just said his account got hacked, right? But if the Raiders let Chandler Jones play, that he wouldn't have reported his goddaughter getting molested, I mean, it's a sick thing to even say. I can't even believe I'm saying it on this show. Chandler Jones needs help. He can't be allowed to be set foot on a football field. I wouldn't let him around people. If you told me right now I had the opportunity to meet Chandler Jones, I wouldn't do it for my own personal safety. And I don't think that people should be around him. He needs help in so many different ways. So let me know down in the comments section. Should the Raiders cut Chandler Jones? Give me a yes or give me a no. I'm telling you this right now. If you watch this video and you don't think that Chandler Jones should be cut, you need help almost just as bad as he does. The Raiders need to cut him. Conduct detrimental to the team. You void his contract. You save all the money. I put this out there on social media this morning before the whole I was hacked thing came out, and I'll stand by it. The Raiders need to cut Chandler Jones today for conduct detrimental, voiding his contract, then use that open roster spot because they're taking up a roster spot right now that they desperately need, and go get some help on the defensive line. That's what this organization needs to do. Let's go to the second burning question here. What the is going on with the plan for Hunter Renfrow? What's the plan for Hunter Renfrow? I need to know. And I'll get into this whole talk here in just a second. But, man, I'll tell you what. Shout out to our sponsor, RexMD, for hooking up Jeremy just said, I'm rock hard right now. It's probably because he uses RexMD, but hey, that's why he's not on screen. Fellas, do you sometimes lack confidence in the bedroom? Do you wish that you could have a more fulfilling sex life? Well, you're not alone. That's why we're excited to tell you about RexMD, the online source for men's wellness. RexMD offers an easy and discreet way to get your medication need for ED without having to visit a doctor's office. With just a few clicks, you can have your medication delivered straight to your door at a fraction of the cost of traditional pharmacies. RexMD's team of licensed physicians will work with you to find the right treatment plan, and their medication is made in the USA, so you can trust its quality. Plus, their customer support team is available 24/7 to answer any questions or concerns you may have. So if you're ready to take control of your sex life and say goodbye to ED, head on over to rexmd.com/chat and start your consultation today. Take advantage of the best deal they've ever offered and save up to 90% off and only pay $2 per dosage with our exclusive link. Go to rexmd.com/chat for this limited time deal. Starter packs of generic Viagra, Cialis are now available for our listeners to get started. That's rexmd.com/chat for 90% off. All right, so what the flip is going on right now with Hunter Renfrow and his usage? I know Josh McDaniels spoke at the podium on Tuesday or Monday, and he said, we want to get Renfrow involved more. He played in 26 snaps out of 39, which is more of an increase than what he played the week before. But McDaniels, it's your job to get him involved. And if the plan is to not put him out on the field, and if the plan is to have a guy making $13 million with only one catch, and the catch that he got yesterday was in garbage time. Like, all I'm saying is I love Hunter Renfrow. I think he is a good talent, and he's a player that when you told me that the Raiders were going to hire Josh McDaniels to be the head coach, if there was one player that I never thought was going to have any problem fitting in, it was going to be Renfrow. And yet they just don't use him. Cool. If you're not going to use him, get rid of him. Like, trade him, get some draft picks, use that money. Like, at this point, I would rather the Raiders trade Hunter Renfrow for a 7th-round pick instead of just him taking up all that salary cap space and him to not make an impact in the game. I don't want to move on from Renfrow, but if they're not going to use him, why am I letting a car that's worth $13 million just sit in my garage? I'll tell you why. It doesn't make any sense. Let's figure out what the hell we're doing with Hunter Renfrow going in to week 3. Let's go to the next burning question here on the Raiders Report. What's going to be Josh McDaniels' excuse now? I know last season I screamed fire Josh McDaniels probably more than anybody on social media, YouTube, and I'm really trying to do a better job this season of, Mitch, let's not go to the fire Josh McDaniels stuff as quick, right? But man, I was super, super tempted after what I saw. And the reason why I'm sitting up here saying what's going to be McDaniels' excuse now is he's got his quarterback. He's got Jimmy Garoppolo. There's no more saying, oh, well, our quarterback couldn't execute the plays. You got your QB. You did everything this offseason to make sure that this Raiders offense was going to click because you had money to spend on the defensive side of the football. You decided to neglect the defense and put all your concentration on the offensive side of the ball. Let's be real. The Raiders tried harder to make their offense better this offseason than their defense. Do you agree with that? If you do, click that like button. Because right now, here are the Raiders' offensive rankings so far. I will admit, for those of you that are watching live, this is the correct number. For those of you that are going to watch this on Tuesday, they might not be updated. The bottom line is this, though. You're averaging 13.5 points per game. You're 21st in the NFL in passing yards per game. You've made this running attack, which was one of the best in the league last season, look like one of the worst. And now you're averaging 30th in terms of total yards per game. If you're this offensive guru that finally has his quarterback, and let's be real, the Raiders have tons of talent on the offensive side of the football and one of the best offensive lines in the league, and yet these are the results. So what is going to be Josh McDaniels' excuse? Because my patience, when they hired him, I hated it. I said that the last thing that this organization should do is bring in McDaniels and have Jim Garoppolo as a quarterback. I have tried to be patient, being glass half full, but if I see more of the games that I have seen from the offensive side of the football, and that continues, I'm not going to be able to take it. I know Raider Nation probably feels the exact same way. My question to you is this: do you believe in the Raiders head coach? Do you believe in Josh McDaniels? Watching this show right now, are you sitting there saying, this is the right guy for the job? This is the guy that's going to get the Raiders in the playoffs. Type B for believe, and if you don't believe, simply type those Ds. Let's go to the fourth question here, entering Week 3 against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Do the Raiders have the worst run game in the NFL? That is a mind-blowing thing to say out loud, considering the fact that the Raiders last season had the rushing leader, Josh Jacobs, with 1,653 yards. I find myself laughing so much because right now the Raiders, I think they do. I think they have the worst running game in the NFL with arguably the best running back in the league. That falls on Josh McDaniels. That falls on Jimmy Garoppolo because teams do not respect this team's ability to throw the ball down the field, so they stack the box. The pass blocking is way, way better than the run blocking. The run blocking needs to be better. Dylan Parham, I'm looking at you. Greg Van Roten, I'm looking at you because our two guard positions right now are the biggest weakness on this offensive line. No doubt about it. But Jacobs this season has got 28 carries for 46 yards, and he's averaging 1.6 yards per carry. This next graphic that you're going to see, you're going to laugh out loud, and Jeremy laughed at me when I made it, but it's more of a, could you even imagine? Could you even imagine right now, because this is what Jacobs is on pace for. He's on pace for 238 yards and 238 carries for 391 yards. I mean, that would be the worst rushing season of all time. What scares me is McDaniels, even if he was that bad, might still just continue to give it to him. And I see people all the time saying, well, why is the running game so bad? Here are the 5 reasons why the running game is bad. Let's be honest here, right? I'm going to keep it a buck with y'all. Josh Jacobs looks slower. Josh can say that he was doing all these things in the offseason, but let's be real. Josh looks slower than what he did last season. Run blocking chemistry. If your main running back isn't there, a lot of blocking in the NFL takes chemistry. And right now, Jacobs and his offensive line, they're not in sync. Not only are they not in sync, in general, the Raiders' offensive line from a run blocking standpoint, it's not in sync. Then the defenses stacking the box. If it's 8-9 guys up against 5 every single time, it makes it a very, very difficult thing for your offensive lineman to be able to read who's dropping back, who's coming up forward. The assignments aren't there, and it is killing this Raiders team. Jimmy Garoppolo's arm is arguably the biggest reason why that the rushing attack has struggled, because teams don't respect it. And they're saying, I'm going to take Josh Jacobs out of this game because I don't believe Jimmy Garoppolo is good enough to beat me by himself. And I don't know if he is. And then Josh McDaniels' inability to change. How can you have a 34-yard rush with Trey Tucker and then not get him the ball again for the rest of the game? It just doesn't make sense to me. I do not understand what Josh McDaniels is doing. I do not understand what this Raiders offense is right now. They have absolutely no identity with the amount of talent that they have. I'm hoping that the game can get switched because they really miss Jakobi Meyers. You're going to have Davante Adams. Week 3 against Steelers is a prove-it week. And hopefully we have a big-time win because it's going to be Sunday Night Football. Raiders, Steelers, Jeremy Chuggs and I, we're going to be live for this one. We're also going to be live on Thursday for Giants 49ers here on the show. If you don't already know, we're going to be going live every Monday and Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. If you want to party with Jeremy and I this weekend, we will be out in Las Vegas. All you got to do is go to blackoutdivision.com and get your free tickets to party with Jeremy Chuggs and I. Let's go to the 5th burning question that I got for McDaniels and Ziegler and honestly this entire coaching staff. Do we really have a coaching staff right now that is too proud, or are they too stupid to notice how bad the defensive tackle room is? I genuinely need to know because it's not a secret, right? Like, it's not like something that hasn't been discussed. It's not been something that hasn't been thrown out there, but the Raiders have arguably the worst defensive line, the worst defensive tackle room in the NFL, and you got Max Crosby on that line as well. Thank the Lord the Raiders have the Condor, or else you could probably go back in the history books and look at the worst defensive lines in NFL history, and the Raiders would be up there right now. I get that Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler decided to neglect the defensive tackle position. They did. They neglected it in the offseason. They neglected it, and some people were like, oh, well, Mitch, they drafted Matthew Butler and Neil Farrell Jr. The Raiders scouting department sucks. Let's call that what that is. And then they're like, oh, but they also signed a bunch of defensive tackles. No, they didn't. What the Raiders did is they had a giant hole in their boat, and they said, oh, if we sign these cheap defensive tackles, that's like putting a piece of duct tape on a hole in your boat and expecting that you're going to be able to sail. It's not actually going out there and addressing the issue. And then if you're like, no, we're too proud to change it, that's a problem. But if you're telling me that our scouting department and all of our coaches say that these are the right guys for the job, that's also a big problem. I don't know what needs to be fixed here, but the Raiders need to go out and get somebody on the defensive tackle room because it's cheeks, it's booty. I can't stand it anymore. You're not going to win football games. It does. It makes me soft looking at it. When I watch defensive tackles, I want to be like a rock, and I mean that. Shout out to Rex MD, and it's not happening with the defensive tackles that we have right now on this team. My final burning question here is this. Davante Adams, Jakobi Meyers, are they going to play against the Pittsburgh Steelers? And the good news is, I believe that it is. Davante Adams, you can expect him to be out there. He was hit late in the game against the Bills. Josh McDaniels says that he's good to go, so sounds like he's going to be ready. I also believe that Jakobi Meyers is going to be able to play in this upcoming game, which should make this offense a little bit better. Those were my 6 burning questions that I have right now. But guess what? The Raiders are 1-0, and I asked this question last week, and I saw the answers. And I just wanted to do the exact same thing to see how much different they would be from week to week. How many games will the Raiders win this season? I saw a lot of the votes, and I'd say the average last week would have been around 9 to 10. I can't wait to see what the answers are this week. How many games will the Raiders win this season? Now, remember, y'all, if you made it this far in the video, we pump out a lot of content here on the show. We try to put out ideas that are fun for the nation. We try to be interactive. So 720 Denver, King Sanchez, Nick, Raider, Rog, I see y'all down in our live show. I appreciate the hell out of each and every one of y'all. If you have a question that you're like, Mitch, why didn't you bring this up? Let me know down in the comments. Believe it or not, and it's most of the time when I'm dropping a number 2, I'll go through YouTube, I'll look at the comments, and the one thing that I have found now that makes me laugh, you ever sit on the toilet for so long and you get those marks on your knees? Well, now because of my tattoo, hang on, my Raiders face gets red. The Raiders logo, like now when I sit on the toilet too long, my Raiders logo, it just gets red. I'm like, his face is getting red. I got to get off the shitter here. But hey, I look at the comments. I see what you guys have to say. I enjoy seeing what you guys have to say. So please, if you made it this far in the video, take a second, subscribe. And the only way the show continues to grow and grow is if people share it. So please share it on social media, share it on Twitter, share it on Instagram, share it on Facebook. I know that we can do a lot more with this channel. And the only way it's going to continue to grow is with y'all's help. All right, let's go to Chris. This team isn't behind McDaniels. What can fix that? Chandler Jones trying to get cut. I do think Jones is doing some wild, outlandish shit.
Yeah,
I know a lot of people don't like McDaniels, but I've talked to Raiders captains, I talked to current Raiders players, and they do believe in McDaniels. I don't know if they're just telling me that because they're trying to save face, but the players that I talk to usually keep it very honest with me. I mean, they've told me stuff before that I've put on the show that I've had a lot of people say, Mitch, there's no way that's true, and oh shit, turns out being true. Told you about Matthew Butler. I've told you about Neil Farrell Jr. Last year told you about Brandon Parker. From what I understand, the team does like Josh McDaniels. Let's go to Wild One. Sadly, the voices in his head hacked his account. Sadly, you're probably right. And that's, I've known people that have dealt with addiction and have had some major problems. And the worst part is he might not actually know if he did it or not. Let's go to Roughneck Raider. Chandler Jones, next jersey, going to look something like a straitjacket. I just hope that he doesn't do something that's unfixable. Like
hurt somebody.
No, that's what I mean. Hurt somebody or even hurt himself. Like, you know, you can sit up here and say all these negative things about Chandler because he's obviously not there, but it does get to a point where you're like, he's not safe to be around, and he's not safe for himself.
And that's kind of like the overarching thing of this whole story is that at the end of the day, this story really has nothing to do with football at all. It's about somebody and their mental well-being.
Correct.
Like, it has nothing to do with football field schematics, how he fits into Patrick Graham's defense. Yeah. It has nothing to do with even the Raiders on the field. It has to do with the organization, behind everybody that's on the field, Chandler Jones and his well-being.
Like genuinely, I think police need to get involved. I think they just need to do a check, and he needs to be able to pass some sort of psychiatric. Like, he shouldn't be allowed to drive. He shouldn't be allowed to do a lot of those things that I know some people might take for granted, but I'm not going to get into the details, but I know somebody in my life, I'm very close with them, dealt with some drug problems, and, did something that they regret for the rest of their life. And it's because they're not there. And if you're not there, you do stupid things. And I don't want to see that happen to Chandler. I don't want to see that happen to
anybody else.
Anybody else, man. It's sad. Chris.
After something very serious.
I know.
Of course, fire McDipstick.
Wild one. Mitch, he already laid out his excuse. You didn't hear. He stated Jimmy G needed more time to get reacquainted with the offense after all his time. I listened to his press conference today. He is so good at being able to deflect. It's so unbelievably frustrating. And I actually feel bad for a lot of beat reporters that take time out of their day to ask him questions because it's the ultimate FU. I've never seen somebody say something for so long but actually say nothing.
Or
he honestly sounds like Jerry Jones. Like we always make fun of Jerry Jones when he talks. That's what McDaniels sounds like.
Straight up lie.
Yeah, it's it's mind-blowing.
Darren Waller's a huge part of our future here. Next week, trade.
It's just I've never seen anybody say so much and yet say nothing. It's incredible. Move Tyree inside and keep Kuntz on the edge. This is something that I would do. Actually.
The only thing is they can't because they don't have any other defensive ends.
I mean, that's where you got to start looking at, do I bring in an Isaac Rochelle? If I'm the Raiders, I do this because Tyree Wilson to me does not have a good first step right now, but you can still see the power. Like the power and his God-given ability, it's there. And Malcolm Kuntz can at least somewhat get after the quarterback. I mean, if I'm the Raiders right now, though, I figure out a way to blitz more. Like Patrick Graham can't just continually just bring 3 or 4 guys every single time. If I'm the Raiders, I'm blitzing every play. Like, you got to bring 5, you got to bring 6 because you just can't give the quarterback all day to throw. And they're going to have an interesting matchup here with Kenny Pickett. The Pittsburgh Steelers offensive line is not a very good one. You got to get in his face, man. Let's go to Tank. Vikings got blown out last year. We need to chill. I mean, the NFL teams get blown out all the time, right? The problem with it is, though, when you look at what happened on the field yesterday, defensive tackles were bad. Okay, well, we could have addressed that. It didn't happen. The arm concerns with Jimmy Garoppolo. Okay, well, that's there. The running game ineffectiveness. I don't even know if that's a word. Well, that's because of the offensive ran. Like, the amount of things that went wrong yesterday to me were, like, so obvious that sooner or later that they were going to go wrong that it falls on the coaching staff. I mean, we literally said it on this show yesterday when we were live. Oh, the Raiders went down the field. They scored on their opening drive. What corrections are they going to make? They didn't make any corrections. Then they ended up getting blown out. McDaniels, I will say this. I do think he is a very smart offensive mind. But this is something I said 100 times, maybe a million times last year. If you don't have a head coach that can lead a group of men, they're not going to win games. Like, McDaniels, compared to Bisaccia, was a much smarter football mind, but Bisaccia could connect with people, and he could get people to rally behind him, right? Like, that's a really, really big difference. You got to turn it around. They got to turn it around quick, man. Got to turn it around quick. All right, man. Josh Melton says, I'm tired of the Las Vegas Patriots. I want my Raiders back. I don't care if they are the Las Vegas Patriots. If we win games, that's all I care about. I know people might not like McDaniels. If the Raiders go out and they win with McDaniels, I'll be the happiest guy in the world. I would love to take that L. I hope the Raiders do nothing but win. I don't care who's the quarterback. I don't care. If Derek Carr came back tomorrow and they won a Super Bowl, great. That's all I care about. I want a team that I can sit up here and I can believe in. I want a team that I feel like Raider Nation puts so much effort towards this team, the amount of money, the amount of time, and I want a team that, pays me back. I feel like I'm in a really unhealthy relationship. That's what I feel like I'm in. I feel like I'm in a really, really unhealthy relationship where I'm putting so much forward and she's not giving anything in return. It's, I don't know, man. She's popping out she needs to start popping out more just win babies. That's what I need to see. All right, y'all, Jeremy and I, we do unfortunately have to get out of here. Again, we have to give this studio to Trey so we can get ready for his watch party. And so here's the thing.
Stick around. Saints, just type Saints Chat Sports.
Yep.
Trace is doing a watch party later. I really hope all of y'all – is he out there? I don't see him. I really hope all of y'all tweeted at Trace if you haven't already. Trizzy Trace. Tweet at him.
All right. So – every single person that sent in at least one $5 super chat today, you're in this duck race, okay? Whoever comes in first place in this duck race, you win a Raiders Report jersey courtesy of Brandon Jasper.
Are you ready?
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Are you ready? All right, y'all, let me know who you got down in the comments. Who's going to win? Let's get it going in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. And the Ducks are off to an early start. And it looks like Macho got a little bit of a lead. Raider 11. Watch out for Travis. Rebel Montana down at the bottom. Luke Atkinson pulling away. Miggy Camacho. Now he's starting to fall back a little bit. Timothy Travis had a lead. David Zahn says, don't sleep on me. Roughneck Raider number 11. L-Line Raider in the back. Watch out for him. That guy Ryan, also an interesting name. Taino Raider 16's right there to watch him. Husker Raiders starting to pull up here a little bit. Michael Tolbert, 28 seconds to go.
Cruising.
Mongol Raider, Wild 114 with the lead. Mongol Raider retakes the lead. Adrian Delgado and Mongol Raider, two-man race. Luis Rodriguez. Watch out for Chris Santalone. Oh, man, Mr. Gaines all there, but is Mongol going to take this one? Mongol Raider in the lead. 6 seconds ago. Oh, he falls back. Ryan Bass. Rashissimo! Rashissimo Lock with the win.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness. Rashissimo Lock saved it for the end. Wow. What a race.
Rashissimo.
Rashissimo Lock.
Rebel says I ran out of quack.
You did. He ran out of quack. Everybody say congratulations to Rashissimo Lock. Rashissimo, I need you to DM Jeremy on Twitter. That way we can figure out what jersey we're going to get you.
And Rashissimo, I know you're on the show all the time, so we'll be able to get in contact with you, Mr. Lock.
I was going to say, I might even be able to find him really quick here.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe the Russians did hack our duck race right here. That would be what a small flex by a hacker to be like, you know what? I'm going to influence the outcome of this Raiders Report duck race.
Yeah, Rashissimo, message Jeremy right now on Twitter, and then if you also want to send me a DM on Instagram, I know we talk all the time. I have so many unread messages.
It's not Lock. Is it LOC?
Rashissimo Loke? We've been saying it wrong the entire time.
Very, very possibly.
It's probably.
One of our most loyal watchers, one of the realest ones on the channel.
Taino.
We messed his name up for a year until I met him in real life, and he's like, hey, just want to let you know, my name's Taino. I was like, dude, we had no idea.
I mean, honestly, if y'all don't call us out on it, Loke, pronounced Loke. I mean, that makes sense. We got Loco Uno.
Rashissimo Loke.
Rashissimo Loke.
It's like faking a flu.
Is that what that means? I don't know what that means.
I think he was talking about the whole Russian thing.
Oh, I gotcha.
Like Loki, but just Loke.
All right.
It's short for Loco.
I mean, Rashissimo's still going here. Somebody should tell him.
He is.
He's cruising.
Dude, he looks like this above. He's just like this. Dude, it's crazy. Have you actually ever seen a video of one of those ducks going? Like, their feet are like...
Oh, I know. It's insane.
One more time.
All right, y'all.
Before we head out.
Programming schedule live Monday and Tuesday this entire season at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Then we're going to be live for every Thursday night football game. Though, this will be... I'm doing Thursday night football this week with Jeremy. Next week, it's Chugs and Rolly on Thursday Night Football. And then live Sunday Night Football here on the Raiders Report. If anybody plans on hanging out with Jeremy and I this weekend, we hope to see you out there. Remember, go to blackoutdivision.com.
Ty, you know, you're funny.
RSVP your tickets
He's
right now.
Me right now.
Is he? No. What's up? What's up, man? All right, man, let's get the heck out of here. We got to free up this studio for Mr. Trace.
Oh, Rebel, 100% on Thursday. We are going to F with Marshall.
Oh, we're
100%.
We're F'ing with Marshall, and honestly, we'll probably F with Chase as well for Thursday Night Football.
$12 shot clocks?
People are talking. All right, y'all. Everyone, thank you, Brandon Jasper. Salute to you again, man. Appreciate everything you do for the show. Happy birthday to Brandon. Happy birthday to Chugs' fiance. Happy birthday to the great Tuna. Appreciate everyone that tuned in to today's show.
Happy early birthday for Killa tomorrow. We'll be live for your birthday, Killa.
We'll be live as well tomorrow. We will see all of y'all. Peace out. Have a good night. And let's go on to Pittsburgh.